Have you noticed that social media is literally flooded with hyper-sexualized content? And it feels at times that it's impossible to avoid. Whether or not it's Instagram or TikTok, it is always being jammed down our throat. Why? Well, I feel like there's one main reason, and that's OnlyFans. Gentlemen, today we're going to explore what this means for men. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into this unfortunate trend that's affecting and reshaping relationships, mental health, not to mention how we as men spend our money. But I'm also going to share with you some tips and strategies to regain control of your life, your mindset, not to mention your algorithm. So step number one, you got to understand why this has happened, right? Because in the old days, right, it's not like porn hasn't been there. It's been there like forever. Right? But in the old days, it was harder to get an access, all right? When I was a kid, just a little FYI, if I wanted to like do something nasty to Big Al, I had to go and actually work for it. Rifle through your stepdad's drawers in order to find dirty stuff that he had, or maybe you were lucky and you got some Fredericks of Hollywood or Victoria's Secret catalog in the mail. Or maybe you'd have to go to a dirty bookstore. Yeah, there were bookstores specifically designed to sell you magazines or videos. Or some gas stations that were a little sketchy. By the counter, you'd see a magazine rack, right? And then all of a sudden you'd see the extra sexy section that had like plastic over the magazines, and you're like, wow, right? And you try to sneak a peek. Gentlemen, the fact is it was hard to access. But then in the 90s, 2000s, the internet's meteoric rise changed everything. It wasn't everywhere at this point. You'd have websites like something like Consumption Junction or some of these other kind of sketchy, dirty websites, right? You'd go, the videos were really bad quality, it was small little pixelated images, the experience wasn't that great, but you didn't have to go to the dirty bookstore and look like a huge perv. But then social media started to explode, right? You had sites like MySpace, sites like Facebook, all right? For you guys that remember, Facebook started by Mark Zuckerberg to basically rate hot chicks at Harvard. All right, that's how it started, right? It was all about this sexualization, but then it was about connections and all that nonsense. But MySpace, another example. There were a lot of people that were starting to dress and expose a lot more of themselves or be more provocative to get more attention, because this was one of the things that changed. Attention. We now live in the attention economy, where if you can get somebody to watch your stuff or look at you, you're probably going to be able to monetize it in some way. And then combine that with the fact that everybody now has literally like a supercomputer in their pocket and access to porn or social media at their fingertips. This changed everything. And then 2016, OnlyFans was launched. All right, OnlyFans, in my opinion, is the reason why things have gotten so insane and out of hand. All right, because it finally allowed people to basically monetize their bodies and monetize their audience. And this, in my opinion, is the reason why you're seeing so much sexual content pretty much everywhere. OF changed the game. All right, in the old days, right, 30 websites were there and everybody was looking at them and whatever. But now, all of a sudden, it put content and control into the OF creators' hands. It also made it a more personalized experience. And therein lies the problem and the reason why we have seen that website explode. All right? Because it's helping and allowing people to have parasocial relationships with the creator that's getting naked or showing you whatever they want to show you. And it's these parasocial relationships that many men find emotional fulfillment and happiness in, which is why it is exploding and getting worse. And then combine that with the fact that now the algorithm is basically jamming this hypersexualized content down everybody's throat because there's more content that's being put out there because all these people want you to come and pay them for having that personalized experience. The algorithm, right? These algorithms that these platforms are putting out and that they've created is basically rewarding content that gets engagement, that gets you to basically scroll and stop and chill out for a second. All right, it knows, hey, if I show more of this, I'm going to get more exposure. You're going to keep scrolling longer. You're going to be on the platform longer. And with these platforms, it's all about that attention. That is the economy that we're living in. And so whatever they need to do in order to keep your attention, keep you scrolling, keep you engaging, keep you liking, keep you on their platform, they're going to keep doing it. The more you look, the more they post. The more they post, the more you look. The hypersexualized content preys on male insecurities. Not to mention the loneliness that a lot of men are feeling. And this is and has caused the rise of OF. It's why it's been so wildly successful. Now we don't have to go out, right? We can stay at home, we can stay on our computers, we can engage with these people that are giving us attention as long as we give them a little money. Now most creators on that platform make on average around $200 a month. Not that bad, right? But a lot of people are making literally millions of dollars a year from simply that parasocial relationship that they're creating and facilitating with lonely single men. In my opinion, OF is a dangerous platform, and the repercussions are real, and unfortunately I think it's going to basically lead to a lot of other platforms very similar to that one. And the reason why it's so dangerous, in my opinion, well, there are a few reasons, all right? Number one is financially, all right? You shouldn't be spending your money that way. All right, there's a lot of free stuff online, but it's because you feel like you've got that connection, because you know that person. You're simping, actually, if I'm being honest, right? It's a whole simp mentality. It's somebody who is paying for the attention, paying for the affection, thinking that they're going to get something in return, right? It's a very transactional relationship, all right? The other thing that's bad is mentally, what it does to you. It basically has been proven that if you're exposed to a lot of sexual content, it basically desensitizes your brain. It also paints an unrealistic expectation and makes you less satisfied with the relations and interactions that you actually have with real people. And the third reason is dopamine, right? Overexposure to this type of content basically is causing us not to produce dopamine the way that we were intended to produce it. Dopamine is that chemical in our brain that basically is produced in order for us to go out. In the old days, it was like to hunt like lions and cheetahs and drag them back to our spicy cave senorita, right, to feed our family. Now, right, we can get it simply by going on our phones, scrolling a little bit. We get little boosts and bumps of dopamine. And honestly, it's synthetic. We're getting it in a non-productive manner, which is then going to prevent us from making it or wanting to go out and actually do hard shit, which is the reward why you want to go out and do hard shit, because you feel good when you're done. And the fourth reason is self-respect. You feel bad about yourself. Whether or not you admit it or not, you do. All right? Because I don't know anybody that admits to actually being on OnlyFans. I literally don't know anybody that admits to paying people. But this one woman, like I think it's Sophia Rain, she reportedly made $43 million last year. She said that one dude spent $4.7 million. Guys, like seriously. Seriously, I'm talking like, it's that whole simp culture. It's this desperation. Guys, you're a man, you're amazing. You've got to break this cycle. You also need to break the algorithm, because unfortunately, the way that it works, you know how it works, right? You watch one thing, you look at one picture, you slow down while you're scrolling, boom, all of a sudden the algorithm's got you, and it keeps feeding you this hypersexualized content. And so a few things I'd like to basically share with you that you can do. Number one is detox. You've got to stop consuming the social media as much as you are. Whether or not that means removing the app from your phone or the platform that you basically have a propensity to go to, remove it from your phone. All right, for me, just a little tip. All right, I was going to Facebook. All right, just like out of boredom, I'd hit Facebook and just look, right? Because it was on my home screen of my phone. And so what I did was, I didn't remove it from my phone, I just removed it from the home screen. This is my home screen, all right? Notice, no Instagram, no TikTok, no Facebook. And what happened was when I got it off of the home screen, because before it was on the home screen, or every time I'd open my phone, it was there, I'd click it, I'd look. If I'm in line at Starbucks, I'd click it just to look. It was out of boredom, all right? When I removed it from the home screen and basically buried it down in the apps, I forgot about it. I might go there once a day, but it's not 5, 7, 10 times a day. Number two is manage your preferences, all right? You can tell the algorithm on the various platforms to not show you different types of content, all right? You can say, hey, I'm not interested in this. It's got to learn you, but you've got to be disciplined. You've got to be diligent, because if you say, I don't want to see this, and then an hour later, the next day, you're like, yo, I'm surfing and I'm doing all the stuff I shouldn't be, or looking at that stuff that you don't want to look at, your algorithm's going to be like, yeah, right, Billy, here's some more, take some of this, and you're going to be like, no, don't recommend, right? You got to break this cycle. Start engaging in real world activities. Get out from the computer screen. You got to get out there. You got to get active. You're going to have and cultivate new hobbies. You're also going to meet new people. The next tip is invest in your fitness. Fitness is one of those things that's going to help you be better. It's also going to build and strengthen your mind. Focus on personal growth. All the time and energy you are spending surfing or looking at social media, start investing it in yourself. Maybe join an educational platform like Skillshare, or read books, or listen to audiobooks, or go to workshops. Invest in yourself. Build yourself up. And the last tip is build and cultivate better relationships. All right, the parasocial relationship that you have with somebody online that you actually don't interact with personally is one that's going to leave you longing for more. It's also going to trick your brain into thinking you have friends or you've got a relationship with somebody. Spend more time with friends and loved ones. Go do things. Guys, being online, is one of those things that is dangerous, in my opinion. Not only what it does to your brain, but it also prevents you from living your life. You've got to start exploring. You've got to go for it. You've got to get out behind the screen. It's okay to leave your phone at home. It's okay to go out for a walk and not be looking at your phone. Guys, you've got to break the cycle because unfortunately, it's not getting any better. And because of the rise of OF, I feel like it's going to get worse. You've just got to focus on you. Be the best version of yourself you can, and everything else, don't worry about.